Grimm, issue number 1 from Boom Studios. So this is a series where our main character is a Grim Reaper, not the Grim Reaper, because there are plenty of Reapers in this. And I was like, okay, that has my attention. I like stories where like character is the Grim Reaper or kind of works in the afterlife. Anything like supernatural, anything that deals with like occult stuff. I'm always down to check out. But yeah, so we start off with this character. His name is Brian, and he was in a car crash, and he's like, wow, like I'm lucky to be alive. And we have our main character, and her name is Jessica Harrow. And Jessica is like, you're not, you're dead. You died in the crash. And yeah, she says, my name is Jessica Harrow. I'm a Reaper, and you're a soul. There's your body over there. You're dead, and I'm here to take you to the afterlife. Of course, Brian doesn't want to believe this. He goes and checks out his dead body and discovers that, yep, he actually is dead. He thinks that he's still, like, this is all a dream. He's drunk. This isn't real. He tries to run away from Jessica, but eventually he comes across this, it looks like a lake, and there's a boat. And Jessica basically says, you're not going alone. It's my job to take you to the next phase. This transition is completely natural. It's nothing to fear. Get on the boat. She gets on this little like raft, and all of a sudden, as soon as Jessica gets in and touches her little scythe to the ice, it cracks, and then we see that they're on the river Styx, and there's a bunch of dead souls everywhere. And I was like, all right, this is actually a pretty cool image. But yeah, Brian's like, is this the river Styx? And she's like, if that's what you want to call it. And she basically helps him ferry his soul to the waiting room where he's going to be judged. And along the way, Brian tells his story. Basically, he was on his way to meet his ex-girlfriend because he realized the error of his ways. Like, his ex-girlfriend is perfect, and he didn't want to spend his life without her. But along the way, he got drunk, and that's how he got into a crash and died. So he's like, that's pretty pathetic, huh? How about you? How did you die? Like, you used to be a regular person, right? And Jessica's like, well, I don't know. I have no idea how I died. Like, I'm here. So yeah, he takes her into the waiting room, which is an actual waiting room. It's basically like a giant DMV where everybody sits down and they wait for their number to be called. I'm like, oh man, that's gotta suck. Like, are we sure this is the afterlife and not hell? Because, yeah, when it comes to like one of the worst places on earth, the DMV is right up there. I freaking hate the DMV. But yeah, this panel right here, it reminds me of something. I want to say is it an anime? Is it Control C or C Control, or what the hell is that one where it's like the main character and they each have like an avatar that fights for them, and they basically fight for money and stuff. I want to say it's like Control or C, something like that. It just reminds me of that for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, she drops him off, and then we have this moment where it's very easy to miss, but Jenny basically minimizes her scythe and she puts it inside her jacket. And if you pay close attention, you can see in the panel that Brian is looking at her putting it away. And then later on, Brian is like, you can't leave me here. Like, I don't know what happens next. And he grabs her by the jacket, and she kind of pushes him off. And she's like, someone else will explain your next phase in life. Like, someone else is going to, when you get your number called, someone else is going to explain where you go and all that stuff. So have a good death. And then she leaves. And she reaches into her jacket, and that's when she realizes that her scythe is gone. So I was like, when I first read this, I didn't even notice that. But as I'm reviewing this, I'm like, oh, he actually, that was pretty well done by the artist. It's not really brought to attention. Like, if you look at the panel when he's looking at her putting it away, it's not like it's focusing on his eyes staring right at her chest or anything like that. It looks like he's just kind of glancing her away, but he is paying attention to that. And then when he goes and grabs her, you can see he's grabbing her right where she put the scythe at. So I was like, all right, that's pretty clever. But yeah, then we get two other Reapers who I guess are Jessica's friends. One of them was born in 1876. The other one, I want to say, was born in the 70s, maybe 80s. He looks like a glam rock character. But Jessica is freaking out because her scythe is missing. She believes Brian took it, and she decides to go find him. And then we find that Brian has gone to the house of his ex-girlfriend, and he's trying to talk to her, but she can't see him, obviously, because he's a soul. And that's when Jessica and her two friends show up. And Brian tries to run away, and Jessica morphs into, like, she shows some Reaper powers, like half her, like her face, like, turns into a skull. And she chases after Brian, and she tackles him down. And she's about to start pummeling him when all of a sudden a cop grabs her and says, "Hey, like, are you drunk? What are you doing? Like, stop making a scene." And Jessica's freaking out because she's like, "You can see me?" And yeah, that's when we realize that Jessica has somehow crossed over. She's a soul, a Reaper, who has somehow crossed over and became human, or is able to be seen by humans, which is not supposed to be done. And that's like where the story is going. So I'm like, all right, this was actually pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting too much out of this issue, just because it was just one of those things where I saw the cover and I was like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. And then I was looking through, I was like, okay, this actually, like, the artwork is, I don't know how to describe the artwork. I don't mind it. I don't mind the artwork at all in this. The coloring is really good, especially like the river sticks and all that stuff. Yeah, the coloring is done really well. But I actually like this. I thought this was pretty good. Jessica is not a annoying character. Interesting. I'm kind of interested to see what is her story. How did she die? How did she become a Reaper? How was she able to cross over and enter back into the human realm? Or not the human realm, but I guess cross over and become a human again. Like, that's not supposed to happen. How the hell did she pull that one off? What are the repercussions for that happening? But yeah, it has the characters are interesting. The pacing is really well done. It's not too slow. It's not too fast. It's just right. The world building is pretty interesting. Like being able to see how the Reapers work, the afterlife, or at least we just see glimpses of it. We get the waiting room. We get to see, if you pay attention to the background, you can see other types of Reapers. There's ones dressed up like cowboys, some dressed up like Puritans, some dressed up like Vikings. So it's basically Reapers from all different types of time periods. I'm kind of interested to see how they became a Reaper and stuff. Maybe a little bit more about this world building. But what we see in the first issues is it has my attention. And yeah, the premise is good. We got a Reaper who doesn't know about her past, who somehow is able to go against the rules and accidentally crosses over and goes from the afterlife into the living world. And we'll see like what the repercussions for those are. So yeah, I would say this is a really good start. So yeah, I recommend it. Go check it out. It's Grimm, issue number 1 from Boom Studios. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. I'd like to hear your thoughts. If you got any recommendations, let me know. But yeah, take care. Hope to see you next time. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that bell for a notification. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far. And I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see. And I hope to see you guys next time. Later.